studies that were done last year is that it actually changes the genes in the bugs that live in your digestive tract.
Wow.
And so we just, again, goes back to everything that we talk about when I'm on the show, that we have to pay attention to what we're consuming.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the power of our health in our hands with our fork and how we move every day.
Well, Jill, you have a degree in exercise science, and you've worked in the health and fitness space for almost 20 years. So give us a quick overview of genetics, our genes, and what they do. And we're going to continue talking about epigenetics, which I think so many people out there don't really understand it yet.
It's so exciting, but I think first we kind of have to remember what we learned in biology a long, long time ago. I think we've all heard of DNA. It stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. It's really the blueprint, our blueprint, or the instructions for how we're built when we're formed as humans, and animals and most living creatures have DNA. And if you remember, DNA looks like a ladder that's twisted. And so it's called the double helix. So it looks like a twisted ladder. So a lot of us maybe vaguely remember that from our biology class a long time ago. But what's really the special sauce is what's in the DNA. And our DNA have segments of genes, not like Wrangler blue jeans, but genes, so with a G, genes in them. And we each get 23 pairs. In our genes, we have 23 pairs of, they're packaged, our genes are packaged in something called chromosomes, and we each get 23 pairs of those from mom and dad. So I'm sorry, I'm tongue-tied. We have 23 chromosomes. We have a pair from a set from mom and dad, and a set from mom, a set from dad, to make a pair of 23 chromosomes. So our DNA contains genes, and our genes are packaged in something called chromosomes, and we get a set of 23 from mom and dad. There, I finally spit it out. And so we have a pair of 23 chromosomes, and in those genes, we have a word that's used in genetics is something called genotype. And it's basically how our genes express themselves. So it's what gives someone blue eyes, someone brown eyes, someone darker skin color versus lighter skin color. And so our genotype is basically how our genes express themselves. And what we see most is just kind of on the exterior for people, but we have expression of our genes on the inside. But what's really exciting about epigenetics is another word called phenotype. And that is, our genes aren't changing, like we're not changing the coding of the genes on how we got them from mom and dad, but it's really the how our lifestyle changes the way gene can express itself. And so that's what's really the exciting thing about genetics and what's being so heavily researched right now.
Well, when I knew we were going to be talking about this, I reached for a book that you have read as well, The Metabolic Approach to Cancer, Integrating Deep Nutrition, the Ketogenic Diet, and Non-Toxic Bio-Individualized Therapies by Dr. Nasha Winters, who's been on the show many, many times, and Jess Higgins-Kelly. In it, there is a quote under Chapter 3, Genetics, Epigenetics, and Nutrigenomics, what you inherit, what you can control. And there's a quote in here by Lynn McTaggart, author of The Intention Experiment, that says, genes get turned on, turned off, or modified by our environment, what we eat, who we surround ourselves with, and how we lead our lives. That's a pretty powerful statement.
And, that's basically the definition of epigenetics, Bernadette. Epigenetics is the study of these things that we inherit and how we, from our lifestyle and what we're exposed to, everything from pollution to how we eat, how we change or influence the expression of these genes. And so we think that our genes are our destiny. We're destined to be overweight. A lot of people think that we're destined to get cancer. We're destined to have heart disease if it's in our family. But really, the study of epigenetics has shown that we can change the expression of our genes. And I know she goes into that a lot in that book by our, everything you just said, if we move or not, what we eat, how we think, who we're surrounded with, what's in the air in the place that we live. And so that's what makes really science and health and genetics so exciting, because we're not destined to become what those 23 chromosomes from mom and dad programmed us with initially when we were in inception.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's fascinating science. So I'm going to read another quote. This is from Dr. Bruce Lipton, author of The Biology of Belief. He says that epigenetics doesn't change the genetic code. It changes how that's read. Perfectly normal genes can result in cancer or death. Vice versa, in the right environment, mutant genes won't be expressed. Genes are equivalent to blueprints, like you said, Jill. And he says that epigenetics is the contractor of the blueprints. Interesting, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know why this is an analogy I like to use. Remember those T-shirts we used to wear that if you like put your hand on them or you went out in the sun, they looked like a normal T-shirt, but then if you touched them, they were heat sensitive. They would leave like a handprint. Or if you went out in the sun, they would change a color. It's something that looked one way, but when something was applied to it, it expressed a different way. And so people can, if they ever had one of those T-shirts or saw someone wearing one, when they were outside, it maybe changed blue or pink or red, but when they were inside, it was back to being white. Our genes are influenced by simple things like how many vegetables we eat, if we exercise or not, if we sleep well, our stress, like I said before, pollution. And so really what I hope for people is that instead of people feeling doom and gloom over the fact that they think they've inherited X or Y gene for a certain disease or condition, that they feel empowered to actually learn about their genes, because what we know through epigenetics is that we can positively influence them and potentially change the destiny of our health over time.
I love talking about this because I think it's so important. So in your opinion, what is the most misunderstood thing about our genes and epigenetics?
Well, it's really what I just said, that we have the power to influence our genes in positive ways with simple tools like exercise, food, clean air, and even supplementation. That our genes aren't really our destiny. They show us a glimpse of our potential, but we are a co-pilot with our genes, and we can help direct to the destination. And so, again, I would like for us to kind of really just grab hold to the empowerment, that understanding some of the research. And, some of this is very new. Some of the epigenetic stuff is really kind of called not that long ago in the 90s, but a lot of it came out in the 1940s. But, through the Human Genome Project, we didn't really even know how many genes we had. And we have as many as 20,000 of them on one chromosome. But in that, we have billions, with a B, billions of different patterns there. And the crazy thing, Bernadette, is that we're all about 98% the same genetically. 98% the same genetically. There's only a 2% of our genetics is what makes us all different. So that's really a mind-blowing statistic, and it's really just a small fraction of the blueprint of how we're made that we can influence, but that influence is so powerful on our health and our longevity and chronic disease.
Well, you see it everywhere now. All the advertisements, if you will, for genetic testing. What do you think about all of that online genetic testing?
Listen, I'm a big fan of proactive health. I think if anybody's heard me on the show before, I'm for people taking back their health, understanding everything that happens to them or for them at a doctor's visit, having copies of their lab work at home, and really taking charge of their health, asking questions. And so because of that, I think genetic testing is very powerful. What we need to understand is that it needs to be combined with what's acutely going on with you. So if you do a genetic test that says, you have a dairy intolerance, you should maybe do more cardiovascular exercise, you should eat a certain amount of protein, that you maybe shouldn't take these sorts of medications because you can't metabolize them well, it should be layered on what's acutely going on with you right now in your life. Are you overweight? Do you have some joint issues? Are you having really a stressful period in your life? So what I think is really confusing is that people may do an online genetic test, and then they kind of take it as gospel, and they don't fold it in with a professional who can help them understand it amongst all the other lab tests. Like, is your cholesterol high? What else do your labs show from your doctor? Like I said, what's your weight? What's your body composition? So they are one piece of the puzzle, a genetic test, but they're not the whole puzzle in most cases. Now, in some cases, they're powerful. If someone has a history, anybody listening has a history of mental illness, cancer, or cardiovascular disease, then you should be getting genetic testing, because we know that even there's 2 genetic SNPs, which is just a pattern disruption at one single location that can be so powerful that if you supplemented, took a vitamin specifically to help with that SNP, that you can change the expression of how your body handles with mental illness, cardiovascular disease, or even future cancer risk. And so from a medical standpoint, there are certain types of testing that I think all physicians should be doing. I don't think anybody should go on a drug that affects mental health without being genetically tested, because it is so powerful to understand how your body metabolizes medications. And if you have a genetic hiccup in a spot, that could be corrected simply by something you took from a supplemental standpoint or how you ate to, potentially stop something that you thought you were just inherited to have, like depression or anxiety or attention issues or heart disease or breast cancer. So it can be very powerful, but you need to work with a professional to understand the whole landscape, not just take it as one isolated test and use that as gospel.
Well, you're going to continue on with us? Can you do that?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Can we talk a little bit about methylation? Because I find it absolutely intriguing, talking about mental illness and the connection with the genetics. Of course, I grew up with a brother that was schizophrenic. And so, so many people suffer with mental illness across this country. Families suffer. And so can we talk a little bit about that when we get back?
Absolutely.
All right, everyone. Stay tuned. You're listening to One Life Radio. More coming up with Jill Lane.
Standing in front of you and loves you.
Wellbeing Journal is a remarkable bi-monthly health publication esteemed by intelligent readers worldwide. It's available in print or digital, single issues or subscription. Its focus is on living a happy, healthy life and preventing or healing illnesses naturally. Preventing or healing cancer, arthritis, cardiovascular conditions, and digestive issues, as well as nutritional solutions for optimal health, are regular subjects. Learn more at wellbeingjournal.com.
Hi, this is Vaughn Eaglin. As a licensed professional counselor and supervisor, I spend my career helping people cope with emotional problems. But today, I want to talk to you about nutrition. People ask me all the time for nutrition and weight loss advice, and I always find myself recommending a raw vegan protein, a food supplement called Warrior Blend by Sun Warrior. I wasn't always active and fit. In fact, I was very overweight as a child, and as a counselor, I must emphasize the importance of the mind-body connection. A clean body helps with a clean mind. Start today with Sun Warrior Blend Raw Vegan Protein. For more information, go to sunwarrior.com and start living clean today.
Hi, everyone. It's Bernadette. Everyone knows that I'm a strong believer in the numerous health benefits of cannabinoids and CBD oils. As with any supplement, I always do my research and my homework to find the highest quality product on the market. That's why I'm so happy to announce our partnership with the H Hemp Company, founded by a group of the most experienced and respected names in the CBD community. H Hemp offers a line of innovative products that are all natural and tested for quality. Choose from flavorful oils, restorative body balm, and minty breath spray, all at affordable prices. And for every H Hemp product sold, the company makes a donation towards the fight against opioid and anti-anxiety drug addiction, an epidemic affecting millions of families across the nation today. H Hemp products produce a sense of calm, fight post-workout inflammation, and the company gives back to our community. What more could we ask for? Search online for H Hemp Company and use the code OLR for 20% off your first order. That's OLR for 20% off your first order.
Hi, I'm Bob Barker. This is my friend Benny. Before you buy cosmetics, personal care, or household products, you be sure they have not been tested on animals. Everything from floor cleaner to shampoo is poured into animals' eyes and down their throats. They suffer intensely. Some even go blind. The price is never right for products tested on animals. Visit PETA.org for a list of cruelty-free companies.
Whoever said you can't poop in style? The Curve is a sleeker version of the original Squatty Potty stool that will look fabulous in any bathroom. Choose from pink, black, gray, or white. Its minimalist design is sure to please the eye while staying durable and built to last. Go to squattypotty.com/onelife for 15% off your entire purchase. Poop-oop-be-doo.
Did you know a mother rat will dip her paws into cool water and gently smooth the fur around her infants' faces? The babies put their arms around their mother's neck and pay attention while being bathed. Rats and mice fall in love, risk their lives to save their kids, and giggle when tickled. Evan Walker writes of a mouse